Acknowledging that you might be the architect of your own toxic dynamics is the ultimate act of sovereign accountability. Most people spend their lives pointing at the mirrors. Very few have the courage to look into them. Recognizing manipulative patterns within yourself isn't about self-flagellation. It's about internal auditing. To control your life, you must first control the parts of yourself that seek to control others through subversion rather than substance. You must confront the reality that your influence is actually a parasitic drain on the autonomy of those you claim to love. The first sign of internal manipulation is the presence of hidden ledgers. Do you perform acts of kindness with a silent expectation of future leverage? This is transactional empathy. If your generosity feels like a gift to others but looks like an investment to you, you are practicing a form of emotional debt collection. When you feel entitled to a specific reaction or favor because you are nice, you aren't building a relationship. You are building a cage. You are treating human connection like a vending machine. Insert kindness. Expect compliance. This is a hallmark of the covert contract, where you hold others responsible for agreements they never signed. Manipulation often starts with a refusal of fault. If you find yourself constantly winning arguments by making the other person apologize for things you actually did, you are utilizing projective identification. You externalize your own shame by provoking it in others. As Carl Jung observed, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. If you are consistently irritated by the sensitivities of others, it is often because those sensitivities are the only things preventing you from total dominance. You aren't helping them grow. You are breaking their boundaries to make your own life easier. You are a psychological colonizer, mapping out their weaknesses to ensure your own comfort. Check your language for minimization. Phrases like, "You're overreacting, it was just a joke," or "I never said that," are the tools of reality distortion. If your primary goal in a conflict is to make the other person doubt their own perception of events, you are a reality architect. You are terraforming their mind to suit your narrative. This isn't persuasion. It is cognitive vandalism. A sovereign mind seeks the truth. A manipulative mind seeks to win at the expense of the truth. You are essentially hacking their operating system to delete the files that contain your flaws. This is the Gaslighter's Gambit, where you trade your integrity for a temporary sense of control. Do you view people as functions rather than beings? A manipulator sees others as validation pumps. If you only value people when they are praising you, serving your goals, or reflecting your greatness back to you, you are trapped in a narcissistic feedback loop. You don't want a partner or a friend. You want a fan club. When they stop performing their function, you discard them or punish them. This is the devaluation cycle. It leaves you surrounded by yes men and broken people, which ultimately stars you the genuine feedback required for actual growth. You have turned your social circle into a house of mirrors, where every face is just a different angle of your own ego. The most sophisticated manipulators don't use strength. They use weakness. If you find that your vulnerability always results in you getting what you want, you are weaponizing your pain. This is a professional victim archetype. By occupying the space of the hurt party, you make it socially impossible for others to hold you accountable. You use your tears as a shield and your trauma as a sword. As Nietzsche warned, be careful when you fight monsters, lest you become one. If your healing journey requires everyone around you to walk on eggshells, you haven't healed. You've just learned to dominate through fragility. You are practicing emotional terrorism, using the threat of your own collapse to hold everyone else hostage. Are you the person who is too good to be true? If you maintain a perfect public image while privately extracting compliance from those closest to you, you are utilizing impression management as a weapon. You use your goodness to discredit any accusations of harm. When someone tries to confront you, you point to your charitable acts and social standing as proof that they are the problem. This is moral licensing, using your past good deeds to buy a permit for current evil. You aren't a saint. You're a strategic actor playing a role to maintain a high-status immunity. Consider the intermittent reinforcement trap. Do you keep people hooked by alternating between extreme affection and cold withdrawal? This is the gambler psychology of relationships. By making your love a variable reward, you trigger a dopamine addiction in the other person. They become obsessed with winning back the good you, enduring the bad you, just for a glimpse of the high. This is neurological slavery. You aren't loving them. You are conditioning them like laboratory animals. If you enjoy the power of seeing someone desperate for your approval, you have moved beyond manipulation into the realm of psychological sadism. We must also audit the triangulation protocol. Do you maintain control by creating conflict between other people? If you tell friend A what friend B said about them, you are a social weaver. By keeping everyone else at odds, you ensure you remain the only stable point of contact. You are the hub of the wheel, and everyone else is just a spoke you can replace at will. This is a divide and conquer strategy applied to a friend group or family. You thrive on the chaos of others because it masks the hollowness of your own internal world. Are you a love bomber? At the start of a relationship, do you overwhelm the other person with intensity, future faking, and soulmate rhetoric? This isn't romance. It's infiltration. You're creating an artificial bond so fast that the other person doesn't have time to build defenses. You are occupying their mental space before they can verify your character. This is the Trojan horse of the heart. Once you are inside, you reveal the hidden army of demands and insecurities. If you find yourself falling in love 3 times a year with perfect people who eventually betray you, the common denominator is your own aggressive idealization. Audit your use of strategic silence. Do you use the silent treatment as a corrective measure? Withholding affection or communication to punish a partner is a form of emotional starvation. It is a refusal to engage in conflict like an adult, opting instead to starve the other person's connection until they bend the knee. This creates an environment of chronic anxiety where the other person is perpetually scanning your face for signs of an impending freeze-out. You are not setting boundaries. You are exercising a veto power over their emotional safety. Do you practice boundary erosion through humor? If you consistently push past a no with a joke or a playful jab, you are training the other person to ignore their own instincts. This is incremental boundary testing. You are boiling the frog, seeing how much disrespect you can camouflage as just having fun. When the other person finally snaps, you pivot back to the reality architect role, asking why they're so sensitive and unable to take a joke. You are slowly dismantling their self-respect to make more room for your own impulses. Are you a Savior-Manipulator? Do you intentionally keep those around you in a state of crisis or dependency so that you can rescue them? This is a hero's shadow. You derive your entire sense of worth from being the only person who can solve their problems. If they start to get healthy, start to get independent, or start to thrive without you, you subconsciously sabotage their progress to bring them back into your orbit. You don't want them to be well. You want them to be grateful. You are a crisis engineer manufacturing the very emergencies you pretend to solve. Check for information hoarding. Do you withhold key facts or curate the truth to influence someone's decision? If you believe that people would make different choices if they had all the information and you intentionally prevent them from having it, you are kidnapping their agency. You are treating their life like a puppet show where you are the only one who can see the strings. This is a curator's deceit, where you tell yourself you are protecting them, when you are actually just protecting your own desired outcome. Finally, look at your post-discard narrative. How do you talk about your exes or former friends? If every person you've ever known is a psycho, a liar, or toxic, the only constant in that equation is you. You are using character assassination to bury the evidence of your own behavior. You are creating a wall of noise to prevent anyone from looking too closely at why these people left. You are not a victim of a string of bad luck. You are a scorched earth operator who burns bridges to hide the path you took. Ultimately, manipulation is a low-value strategy. It is a tool of the person who fears they aren't enough to get what they want through merit and authenticity alone. The sovereign individual doesn't need to pull strings because they have the strength to stand on their own. They don't need to terraform minds because they are comfortable in the truth. Break the narcissistic mirror. Face the shadow of your own deceit and realize that the only person you are truly fooling is the one looking back at you. True power is not the ability to control others. It is a sovereignty over your own compulsions. To be free, you must first stop being a jailer.